But
Mhm.
today is the 10 on 10. We get to recap the last 10 albums that we have had our ears on. What were
I
those
look
10?
forward. I look forward to this just about as much as I look forward to recording our usual episodes, because this is just a fun recap that we get to do with you guys about what's excited us about this set of 10 artists or albums. And it's just on the journey it's fun because that it means we're getting closer to the destination, but that's not why we're on the journey, is to get to the end, because there's never an end to this. But man, I this is the one that I look forward to. Let's do this 10 for 10. You ready?
10 for 10. I am. What do we have first?
Number 90, which was episode 10. Number 90, we talked about Cassandra Wilson. The album was Blue Light Till Dawn. It came out on Blue Note Records on CD and LP.
On number 89, we had Robert Glasper, Double Booked, on Blue Note Records, LP and CD, recorded in 2009.
Number 88, Jazz Warriors, Out of Many, One People, came out on Antilles on LP and CD in 1987.
And then we have on number 87, Larry Young. The album was Unity. That was on Blue Note, LP and CD.
1965 was that album.
What do I say
Number
again?
80. Did you say it?
I didn't say it, did I?
No, I don't think
I
that's
did
all
not
right.
say
That's
it
funny.
whatsoever.
That's funny. Number 86, heavy hitter. That was one of our most viewed episodes. Michael Brecker, the self-titled album Michael Brecker, was on Impulse label on CD, and it was released in 1987.
Number 85, we had Abby Lincoln, Abby is Blue. That came out on Riverside on LP and CD in 1959.
Number 84, Bix Beiderbecke, the Bix Beiderbecke legend. And that was an RCA Victor LP release. And that was the years between 1924 and 1930 for Bix Beiderbecke.
For number 83 on the countdown, we had Mr. Wynton Marsalis, Black Codes from the Underground. That was on Columbia, LP and CD, and that was recorded on the 11th and 14th of January of 1985.
Number 82, Stan Kenton plays Robert Gradinger, City of Glass. That was on the Capitol record label, and it came out on LP and CD in 1951.
That didn't sound with a whole lot of excitement on that. But number 81, we just finished talking about this album not more than about 10 minutes ago. It was Django Reinhardt. Django Reinhardt Volume 1 on Nexus. It was released on a CD. It was his recordings from 1934 to 1935. And that wraps up those 10, number 90 through number 81. And we're going to put these slides up here. We'll have put the slides up so you can see this all as we have gone through. So give me a quick recap. We've got 6 minutes and counting to keep it under 10 minutes.
Okay, so there's a few real heavy hitters here that shook me a little bit more than the others. And of course, my joy for Wynton Marsalis, if you watch that episode, the Marsalis episode that we did, episode 17, there's no doubt I love Wynton. So that one really, it just, man, I loved it so much. Brecker Week, of course, because I got to listen to Brecker and my man Pat Metheny together, forget about it. That one shook me. And again, that's been one of the ones that I've gone back to over and over and over again. And since we've done it on our journey, the Jazz Warriors, Out of Many, One People, that's not the one that really shook me, but it stayed with me more than some of them. Cassandra. Oh man. Oh man, her voice. Again, we're not huge vocal jazz guys, and I'm ready to admit that. But she just does something when she's singing it, and it turns me to butter. What about you? Which ones shook you the most?
Double booked Robert Glasper, which was number 89, hit me. There's just something really cool about that album to begin with. But I think the dialogue that we began from Robert Glasper, not only that album, but many other albums, just really shook me up. Jazz Warriors, we didn't know the name Courtney Pine at the time. We still don't, by the way. Understand Courtney Pine, because I think that's a few weeks in the future. But when we go back and look at that, I really love the African drum beats that were in that. There was something that resonated pretty heavy with me. Larry Young then hit me pretty hard, because the week we were listening to Larry Young, I was sitting at the Texas Jazz and Blues camp, and I got to hear a B3 organ player by the name of Red Young. And it was so cool to experience the organ as we were listening to Larry Young on Blue Note. He filled a hole for Jimmy Smith, and that's what this article said. We didn't listen to Jimmy Smith or understand Jimmy Smith, but Larry Young's unity was really heavy duty. I appreciated Michael Brecker a lot, but I didn't know that I appreciated him until many, many weeks after this. It was a great album, but Bix didn't shake me until weeks later. Like first, the next week when Wynton says, oh yeah, that man can play a horn. So Bix was the one that resides in my head. He's the one taking space. He's not paying for the rent in my head, but he is filling every bit of space. So Bix was kind of it. And then, of course, we just finished up Django. And I think about Wes Montgomery from Indianapolis, and I think about Pat Metheny as a guitar player. I mean, come on. But I can honestly say this. Robert Gradinger never sat really high in either one of us. No offense, Robert Gradinger, but...
No. And no offense, Stan Kenton, because we talked about it on our episode. It wasn't Kenton's work.
Check that link out right above here.
Above for Matt's sure. Head. Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this: out of those 10, what would you recommend a brand new listener listen to first? Out of those 10, right there.
Matt, I got to be honest. I don't know where to point a new listener, because there's so much diversity. From the new music of Cassandra and Robert Glasper, to the old history of Bix, to that modern music of Michael Brecker. I don't know. Larry Young and the organ might be a bit much for a brand new listener, unless you've been at church, because brother takes you to church with his organ. I'd definitely not go to Stan Kenton plays Robert Gradinger. Ex-nay that one. Bix, from a historical standpoint, but I got to say this. Every day of the week, if somebody says, what does jazz music supposed to sound like? Go to Wynton Marsalis, Black Codes from the Underground, because that man plays jazz music, period. That's where I would start. What about you?
I think I'm right there with you. Start with Wynton. If you're a brand new listener, start with Black Codes from the Underground, because that's going to give you the foundation of what a jazz album should sound like, right? I think you mentioned that the week that we talked about
the gold
him.
Standard of what's expected.
This is what's expected of an album and what it should sound like. The other one, you know what? If you're into vocal, man, we'll start with Cassandra first of all, because she's newer. For me, that's what I would tell a new listener. Start with Cassandra. She's got a voice like an angel. And then
and worked Lincoln with Field of Blood on Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it.
Abby's not a bad choice either. And it was fun recording.
So what I hear you saying, Matt, is if you were going to start somewhere, start with Cassandra, Robert Glasper, Jazz Warriors, Larry Young, Michael Brecker, Abby Lincoln, Bix Beiderbecke, Wynton Marsalis, Stan Kenton, and Django. Is that about where you're going?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Okay, let me ask you one more question before we wrap this 10 minutes up. Out of the last 20, or okay, let's do the first 10 again.
Ooh.
What have you gone back to again out of the first 10 that we've done? What's been one of the big ones that you've...
The two that I always go back to, Gregory Porter and Brad Melville.
Yep. Oh,
because
Oh,
I
you threw me
can't.
for a loop right there. You threw me for a loop because I
Well,
thought for
okay,
sure you were going to say
let me
Kamazi.
rephrase this though, because I have to say, Kamazi's never out of my ears. I think and sleep Kamazi Washington. But beyond those albums, I mean, that's just kind of like that's foundation.
Yes.
You can
Okay.
assume I'm going to him. But Brad, there's something amazing to listen to
Yeah.
Brad play. There really
Yeah.
is. And there's
So-
something really exciting. What about you in the last
Yeah.
20?
Well, I had Kamazi in my ear again on Saturday while I was mowing the grass. That's perfect mowing music. I mean, it gets you going. It really does. It gets you in the mood. And then while I was doing my deck project outside again, Kamazi again. Brad, I have to be in the right frame of mind or in the right spatial area to enjoy Brad. But I have gone back quite a bit to Brad. Jocko, he came up on my shuffle playlist while I was driving to Mishawaka this week, and I'm like, oh yeah, Jocko. Oh yeah.
And I go to Weather Report all the time because of Jocko and Wayne Shorter together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't covered Weather Report or Wayne
I'm sorry.
yet, but
spoilers
we're gonna
ahead. Spoilers behind. It's weird
get
to me
there.
because I ended up on a marathon the other day of Sons of Kemet and The Comet is Coming. And it is so fun to listen to the transition that Shabaka did to Perceive Its Beauty.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So there's a lot that I do listen to. Any album, Matt, that you wouldn't or hadn't gone back to on those even the first 20 or the 10 that we just talked about?
City of Glass. It has to be City of Glass. That was really it was the one that I was dreading talking about because I had to put it back in my ears and I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. Our score reflected it. It wasn't the lowest score that we gave, but unfortunately out of this top 20, Bix was the lowest score that we gave. And of course we kick ourselves in the neck every time.
The last 10 that we've just discussed that you just wouldn't go back to?
The last 10 or the first 10?
Last 10.
Oh yeah.
This
City
is a
of
10
Glass.
on 10. We're number 80, 81 through 90.
Yep. City of Glass would be the one I don't
That's
ever
it?
care to listen to again.
And I concur. I agree. I'm not in any big hurry whatsoever to go listen to that Stan Kenton plays Robert Gradinger album.
Nope.
And I always clarify on all the notes that I take, Stan Kenton plays Robert Gradinger's compositions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to talk about some of the information coming up on the album that we just finished this week and some of that concept. But
I agree.
Stay tuned for that one as it comes. We're trying to keep it at that 10-minute window. That's a wrap, baby. Was there anything else that you think is important on that?
Nope. Thanks so much
Listen
for
to
tuning
Winton.
in.
Don't listen to Robert Gradinger.
That's true. Can't put it any better. All right. Peace out.
Peace, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.